to the Voiceover Round Table. I'm Mike Tobin.
And I'm Emma O'Neill. Every week, we get together to talk about all things voiceover, with a special focus on community.
Bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
Let's get started. This is the Voiceover Round Table.
1 year of the Voiceover Round Table in its current form. and we'll get into that in a little bit. Happy anniversary, Emma O'Neill.
Happy anniversary, like today.
This is fun.
So much fun.
And happy Halloween, everyone. I think that's probably why we're a little lean in the room right now. Halloween's going on for sure, but we gotta have a party anyways.
Thursday kidlets, everyone's out, being crazy, dressed up, and having a good time. Just try not to eat too much candy, please, for the love of God.
Yes. Spaced out gradually over the next few weeks. You'll get to it.
It's true. It's true. We have an amazing group of people with us this evening. We're going old school. It's the OG. We got some old school guests. We got the founder. We got all sorts of people. So I feel like we should just start the introductions, shall we?
We'll say like they say on the YouTube. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right. First, she is a pro voice actor, VO North Conference co-founder, also works in TV, commercial, event production, and happens to also be the original founder of this beautiful Voiceover Roundtable. Dervla Trainor with us tonight. Hey, Derv.
Hello. Thank you for the intro.
Let's keep going around. Emma, who you got?
I don't know. I'm like sending texts to other guests as well. Okay, she's often called the Queen of Voice, casting and voice director, the founder of KH Casting, Miss Kim Herden.
Also with us this evening, veteran voice actor that most of you have now come to know as the OG original voice of TikTok, #unsanctioned, our good friend, Bev Standing.
How is everyone? I'm good.
How the sweet treats, Bev?
Good. Thank you.
All right. Emma, who else?
We have prolific veteran British voice artist and the voice of the Minecraft animated series. Miss Marilla is with us.
Marilla. Is Marilla with us?
She's here. She's just, I think she's muted or something. I'm not that sure.
Desperately trying to unmute like an idiot. I do this for a job.
Yes, push the buttons.
Push the button.
And last but certainly not least in our group this evening, pro voice actor, audio branding queen, and podcast host, and frequent collaborator and good friend, Jodi Krangle is with us. Hey, Jodi.
Hello.
And I think we're going to have other guests and surprises and people popping in to help us celebrate tonight. But thank you so much, all of you, for being with us to celebrate this 1 year of the Voiceover Roundtable. Many of you have, I think all of you have been on the show at some point or multiple points.
Mm-hmm.
We truly appreciate your collaborations and helping us do what we do. We love doing this. We do it for the people. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. We do have one guest that has snuck in because he's on his way to a party. I believe we have Mr. Harry Dunn.
Dun.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you?
Well, hello, Mr. Harry Dunn. How are you?
Well, I just feel honored that I was invited.
Absolutely. Are you dressed up? Are you going to a Halloween party?
I don't wear costumes, no. If anything, I just put on my Detroit Lions jersey and go as Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think I'll just go in regular clothes.
Fair.
There you have it.
Fair. No problem.
Fair.
I love it. So what's going on with you? We're basically tonight, obviously it's our 1 year anniversary, and we wanted to have people on that have shared this stage with us and contributed to this community, because we are super grateful for everyone who has taken the time out of their busy schedules, because we are all crazy busy all the time in this industry. So Harry, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And
what's on deck for tonight, Harry?
I'm just going down the street. There's the lead singer of Imagine Dragons lives like on the other side of the wall, and that whole neighborhood has this huge Halloween party, so I'm going to go there.
Oh, fun.
Sounds terrible. You live a hard life.
Derv coming in with the sarcasm. I thought Marilla would go first. Nice.
I'm trying to be polite.
She's trying to behave.
Standing me up. I'm setting you up.
Nice. Open the door. Walk right in.
Dervla got sugar. Dervla got candy.
I'm currently chewing on candy right now.
I have instructed my children to bring back sugar. Yes, bring some back. It's a great opportunity to teach the children about taxation, right? The income tax concept. Okay, here's all of your candies, and here's the part that you have to give away to your support system, you know? Anyways.
If you guys in the audience don't know who Harry Dunn is, I don't know what you've been doing with your life. But if you don't know who Harry Dunn is one of the most prolific promo coaches in the industry. He was with the CW network with Time Warner. Is that
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you. And I've coached with him forever, and so have a bunch of other people in this room. And we, as what Mike and I have been trying to do with this particular version of the Voiceover Round Table, is always bringing people who are of quality, they are the shit, basically. Yes, I started the swearing already.
There it is. Got to go tick that.
I did not know we were allowed to swear. That's a
absolutely.
insane.
Oh, here we go.
Hello.
The ratings go.
Mike does try to keep it peachy, and then I ruin it every time.
Well, you have to tick a little box, you know, when you're sharing stuff and replays and things.
Is it okay for children? No.
Yeah, no, it's not. No. Not tonight. It's awesome. By the way, we had a great show with Harry. So,
yeah, we did some great reads, which was super duper fun. I think a lot of people got a ton out of it. How is the world of promo going? How is coaching going? How is all of that fun stuff for you?
Well, if you guys want to meet me in person, I will be at VO Atlanta in March. For the first time ever, I will be at VO Atlanta. Yay. And I will be teaching 2 X seminars. One is an invitation-only advanced seminar, and the other one is sort of an intro to promo with all my usual retail and adjective stuff that I teach.
Wow. Still spots available, Harry?
Well, yeah, because I don't think they've even announced the schedule for VO Atlanta. It's only October, but...
Oh.
Yeah. No.
I don't know when. I've never done it before. When does the schedule get announced?
They've started announcing speakers.
They've started posting one by one posts about the speakers, and I think JMC probably posted something about when the official lineups and the other sessions start happening. But
with VO North, we'd only do it maybe a month and a half out or 2 months out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're still way.
Well, I'm sort of flying blind on this one, so I'll just kind of follow JMC's lead on this one. But I'm looking forward to it. I've never done VO Atlanta. I've always wanted to do it. I used to have contractual obligations that made it impossible for me to do it when I worked at the CW because they felt there was a conflict of interest if I went. But now I am not there, and therefore I will be gracing Atlanta with my presence.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Great opportunity for everyone.
I look forward to seeing you there. I'm going to be there presenting as well, Harry.
Excellent. This could be a big hootenanny there. A hootenanny. That's not a Canadian word, but it's a good word.
It sure sounds like one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If I had a poutine restaurant, I would make a hootenanny poutine on there, that's for sure.
Oh, that's the thing you guys put on French fries. God, please explain that to me one day.
What needs to be explained? It's French fries, cheese, and gravy. There's no explanation required.
Cheese curds. Cheese curds.
Yes, they must be cheese curds.
It's
yes.
French fries with more grease.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
All right.
You clearly haven't tried it because you would not say that if you've tried it.
It's French fries, but better.
Yeah, and we do tend to go crazy with it up here because, you know, it has to evolve into more than just that. So, like, you can go to some restaurants and have eggs Benny with a breakfast poutine, which is like the breakfast potatoes with cheese and what's it called? The hollandaise sauce over it.
It is too late for you to be making me hungry, Mike.
Right? This is what happens. We start talking about food and then we just,
I had a full English breakfast poutine the other day, which I have to say was life-changing. There were baked beans, bacon, cheese, gravy, chips.
How are you
highly
outside of
recommended.
the house?
Because I run.
How long were you
I
in the
run.
bathroom after that? It's about like
Very
less than
healthy.
30 minutes, over 30 minutes. I mean, that just sounds like an explosive meal to have.
All that to be said, we'll probably try and petition JMC to have a lobster poutine night during the conference or something.
You ask them to separate like poutine on the side. That would be great.
On this side.
On the side.
I have one question for all you poutine eaters. Can you eat poutine and not have mouth clips? Let's bring it back to VO.
100% no. That's a negative.
Well,
I don't even know.
personal
if I've ever tried.
question.
I've never eaten poutine. I'm a Canadian. No.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Cool. Well, Harry, on your bucket list is poutine now? Yes? All right.
I think I'll need a bucket after I try it. I think.
I guess something I made him try while he was in Toronto.
I've been all through Canada my life. I've just never gotten around to poutine. So
We need to kidnap you, bring you up here, and
there it is.
have you try these little.
To the poutine.
you know, I had such a fun time doing that Toronto seminar. The talent up there is formidable. Honest to God, we actually had 2 women flying from Vancouver for this.
Yep.
And that was just like nuts. You know, it was just like there's such dedication up there to the craft, man. I have such high admiration for our Canadian brethren in voiceover.
Why, thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a good group of people. It was very fun.
Yeah.
It was. Well, we are going to thank you for being here.
Thanks,
and
Harry.
Send you off to your party because I don't want to
Okay.
interrupt the rest of your evening. But thank you so much for being here.
And
Tell them there's no need to imagine dragons anymore. They're real. They're there.
I will tell them exactly that. And I hope to meet you all in Atlanta in the beginning of March.
Wonderful.
And if you want to get in touch with Harry for coaching or anything like that, his email is harry@dunnpromo.com.
DUNNpromo.com. Thank you, everybody.
Nice. Thanks for popping in, Harry.
Of course. Bye, guys.
Here, too.
Okay, so Emma and Mike, I want you to tell me each 1 or 2 highlights of this past year through the Voiceover Round Table.
No pressure, because we're all here staring at, Yeah, so exactly. Don't mention names.
And to be fair to Dervla, Mike he writes the scripts and he will allow me to share said scripts before. So now we are in the hot seat of not knowing what the question is.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
And I do want to correct myself. I slipped up in my intros and said co-founder. Derv is the founder of VO North. My apologies, Derv.
Damn it.
That's okay. Co-owner.
Co-owner.
And you came in as a partner in the second.
Founder.
Yes.
You see, I wasn't privy to all that backroom discussion stuff. But moments. Emma, what do you think?
Okay, well, it's not just because she's in the room, but it's, she's also in the room. Our 2 events with Miss Kim Herden were redonkulous. I think it was actually the highest attendance that we've had across the year were the 2 events that we had with you. And people lost their minds. It was if you haven't seen, so the way that Mike and I run it, Mike does, he does the tech and he does the scripts and he does all these things. And I do the kind of the guest grab and then I deal with the chat and I talk to the people. So if we're doing reads or whatever, I am a crazy person and I open my
the cat herder. She's the cat herder.
I open my email hey, do you want to read for... I don't know if I got any actual auditions done that day because I was just answering questions and answering emails and filtering it down and then pulling names out of a hat and randomly it was oh my, and then we had to do a second night because you were so popular.
And it was super fun.
It was so fun.
It was super fun.
Kim, I've coached with Kim before too, and you are awesome. So I'm not surprised that there were so many people that wanted to.
Thank you.
Herden is a baller. That's all I have to say.
I'll take it.
It's true.
A little weird, though. I want to say, Kim, I trained with you very, very early on in my career, and I have periodically throughout, and it just gets better. You guys. Yeah. Stop that. Oh, my God.
Oh my God, you love it though.
Yeah, keep talking.
Especially the vocals.
Stop! Don't stop! Keep going! Oh my god! No, yeah.
Oh, we have Kristen Stewart joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Mike, you don't get away with it. What's a moment for you? We've had so many guests. Oh my god!
So, I don't want to here's I'm not answering the question with like doing
Not
this,
answering
but
the question.
it's not a specific moment, but it was these moments that were spread across many of the shows where, you think we do a show like this, we talk about voiceover and it's informative and it's fun and everything like that. But there were moments throughout where the feels really came out. Like we've had special guests, high profile guests in tears. We've had audience members sharing in tears, or just like, and I see tears, not always sad, but just overjoyed. I'm not supposed to name names, but I see Tom Antonellis in the chat there going, pretty sure Tom was in tears at one point. And so, to sum it up, to say like, we've had these moments where it was, you could really feel that special things were happening. When the feels came out for everyone, for anyone that was, in that moment. And then if I had to narrow things down to one specific thing, like if I had to make another choice and it was like, okay, you can only talk about like one show, it would be the cosmic adventure that was Ellie Ray.
Oh, I'm sad I missed that one.
Oh,
that
my good God.
Was a ripper.
I can imagine.
It literally started with Ellie started the room.
Oh, it was a riot. Yeah.
She started the room, and then she's got all of her bells and whistles on. So all you can hear is this throughout the entire show. And I've been on Zoom with her for an hour prior to the show. Then we're on the show for 2.5 hours, and then I was on Zoom with her for 4 more. I thought I didn't like my serotonin. I felt like was high, like I was on drugs, and I didn't know what to do with myself for the next 2 days. I was like, I just need to sit in a corner and have lollipops.
And it was bonkers, but been a fun ride, and it continues to be a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the question, Derv. That's
a great question.
It is.
We have one of our other guests that was on the show, talking about radio imaging, but also talking a lot about being bilingual talent. But Issa, you stunning goddess of human.
Hey, congratulations, you guys! Happy anniversary!
Oh, thank you, Issa. Thanks for
Diana.
Oh. One of the things for me when you were on the show was when you talked about how you had that moment in your career where you finally went from kind of booking to like booking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Would you mind sharing that story again? Because it was like people need to hear that, and I think they need to hear it regularly.
There just comes a time, I think we all look up to VO people that we follow and that, sometimes mentor us, and you see them booking and it's just like, okay, you try to be kind of like them. And the minute that I started to be myself, to talk like myself, to, everything, it just went bonkers. I started to book like crazy. I think people just know, you just know. And my biggest story of an example of that, it's so easy for anyone to understand. Coming out of radio, I thought, I had heard the rumors that it's taken people 3-4 years to book a commercial, like a commercial spot. And I'm like, that's not going to happen to me. It did, until I started to coach, until I started to, talk to you and not at you. It took forever. Mm-hmm. But, directors can hear the truth. My first true huge commercial gig was about me searching for a home. And you know why I booked it? I booked it because I was myself and because I was currently looking for a home. Mm-hmm. So all the emotions and all the realness came out, and it was a huge eye-opener. Be yourself. You can be 75 years old on the couch saying, I want to get into this industry. There is room for you. Whether it's Southern accent, Midwestern accent, whoever you are, you're needed in VO. And that's the beautiful part of this community and this type of work.
Yep.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a big takeaway for me because everyone says it all the time and you get it all the time. Inspect, be yourself, under your, like use your own interpretation, la la la, and all of us freeze. Like all of us were like, introducing the new Alante. It's like, what the?
It's crazy. It's like, yeah.
Blame the scripts. The scripts do us in. Right?
It's true.
Introducing.
True.
We want conversational. Introducing. Mm.
Yeah. And you could be doing this. I've been doing this for a while and I book a lot, but even when I coach, when you find those right people, they really, it's really a time for the truth because you learn things that you thought you knew, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. So just when you think, oh, I don't need coaching for now, I've been wrong every time. Continue coaching. And, now, guys, there's ways of watching YouTube videos and following people that you like and learning, and you don't even have to pay a dime. No. You just, you follow groups like this and podcasts, and there's so many ways to learn without spending money. Yeah.
Issa, just people who don't know, follow Issa on socials. And I'm not saying that because Issa's here. I don't know when you posted. It was in the last couple of days, but
yesterday I posted something that I held in for years, and I had no idea.
Right?
No idea. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, the humility of you're always learning. So why don't you share what your post was about, Issa?
Yeah, I went to my agency in New York City because you got to pop in and show your face at least. Some people do it once a year. I do it once every couple of years. But I finally was like, hey, guys, this was my commercial agents. I was like, hey, when I see auditions and it doesn't fit my specs, I just kind of not reply and I just kind of keep going. And I do it because I don't want to waste your time. Well, no, all 3 commercial agents were like, no, Issa, we want you to reply to us and be like, are you sure you want me to audition? And I'm like, really? And the reason why they did this is because they were like, Issa, sometimes production writes the specs on something and they completely change their mind. Mm-hmm. And then my husband was in the office with me and he's like, Issa, didn't you change Corona's mind? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, prime example, the spec said native Mexican Spanish. And I usually respect that. I'm not from Mexico. I veered from that. But, the person asked for my audition anyway, and they went with me for just like a neutral Spanish. So sometimes, sometimes production just changed their mind. Sometimes they don't know. Again, I held this in for like 7 years. I wanted to ask this, but I had the guts to finally ask this a week ago, and look what I got back. Yeah. So again, send the audition anyway, you guys, because you know what? If you don't land this one, they may have you in their mind for the next one. And another thing that I want to put in here, another kudos, I was talking to someone yesterday who was very disappointed because they were second in line to book something. And I said, I've been there, but guess what? This is a huge sign that you are doing things right. Do not look at this as rejection. This is just your way to the top in the right timing. Yeah. So just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Issa. I love that.
Yeah.
I actually want to ask the room that similar question. Going around, starting from our knitting queen up in my top right.
I'm sorry, are you referring to me because you can see me on Zoom knitting?
I can see you.
I mean, it's fair. It helps you concentrate. How very I think that's the same
big aha moments.
Yeah, what Issa said, because I've lived in Canada for 19 years, 18 years, something like that, nearly 20 anyway. And my gut always told me, don't be anything other than who you are. But and not Kim Herden, just to be clear, but I had a lot of casting directors say to me, children don't understand an English accent. And all the time I was saying, Peppa fucking Pig, are you joking me? Exactly. Of course they understand an English accent. Anyway, I used to get a lot of people going, well, can't you do it Canadian? I was like, I can. I don't want to, because it's not my, if I'm doing like crazy cartoons and they're throwing things out at the, I got asked to be a laughter coach because you give me an animal and I can laugh in that animal. And so I can do the vocal fry and I can do all of that, but it's not who I am. It's not my brand. And I hate to sound like a wanker. but it's not my happy space, and it's not, what I get booked for. So I will just do some random UK character in whatever accent shoves into my brain. And that generally is much more successful than trying to be like everybody else, because what's the point in that? So yeah, I mean, it was less of an aha moment than a Chuck U. Farley moment when I started booking Canadian cartoons or US cartoons with this all voices similar to it. I'm pointing to myself like people can see. People who are what you guys on Zoom can see me. So yeah, that was a very similar point to Issa's. Is just, whatever you're doing, whatever you are, whatever your experience is, that's what you bring to the table, and revel in that. I hope Kim won't mind, but she sometimes calls me her unicorn. She'll bring me in to do as a rando. I will be her rando, and I'm perfectly happy to do so, because 1 in every 10 times I might book it, just as a rando. That's my 2 cents. Back to knitting.
Bev, what about you? Your career's crazy. All over the place. What was one of 942 moments that you could share?
I figured I had to unmute myself. Learning tech. Hi. It's funny. I've gotten to the point now. It was like when COVID hit, I couldn't not book. And I think many of us are in that situation. That warm, caring, middle-aged, whatever. You couldn't do anything wrong because you really cared, and it came across that way, and it was sincere. And then it switched, and then I started emailing my agents and going, okay, like, I know you keep sending me these things, and so I know I'm on your roster, and I know, they're specific for me. But if my booking ratio isn't good enough, why are you keeping me? And they're like, because you're not a 20-year-old African-American male. So I think it's important to just do your best job, because trends change, markets change, products change, images change. And as quote Marilla, just be you, right? Mm-hmm. Just bring you to the table. And if you can put enough emotion into your read that you get the feeling that the writer or the client shivers, they might even change their image from a 20-year-old, kind of thing. They go, that's the read we want. Yeah. Let's work with that person, and for this or for another one. But just be you, and just have emotion. It's like AI's good. It's never going to be human. So just really understand your scripts, really feel it, really. And if you don't, then don't be surprised if you don't book very often, right? It's finding that emotion and using real life emotion. I did a fun story. I did a workshop with J. Michael Collins, and it was just 6 of us. And he handed me a script and said, here, I want you to do this. And I read it, and I was the mother of a cancer patient. And I was sitting in waiting room with another mother of a cancer patient. And I was being, empathetic and sort of saying, it's okay, everything's going to be fine. And after the script, I had a tear in my eye, just about to drop. And J. Michael stood up. And so backstory is my daughter is a cancer survivor. So he looked at me, goes, oh my goodness, I knew that. I should not have given you this script. I mean, it was just a workshop. And it was at that moment I truly cried. Yeah. Because I was just borrowing the emotion from my personal experience. I wasn't there. Right? It didn't hurt so bad that I couldn't do the read, but then everyone gets up and hugs you, and that's when you fall apart. It's like, Don't go that deep. It's finding that level of deepness that lets you get away. And I think if you can find that emotion, whatever it be, joy, hate, anger, frustration, love, caring, if you can find that in your read, whatever it is, you'll book more often. And coaches will help you get there. So that's my 18 cents.
Jodi, what about you? Then we're going to have a casting director's point of view.
I'm going to go in a different direction slightly, and I'm going to go in that direction because I wanted to talk more about the business end of our voiceover business. And I wanted to let people know that it's okay to say no to stuff that you don't want to do.
100%.
So I've spent the last 16 years deciding experimenting in the beginning because you never know what you're not going to like until you try it, right? So
True.
trying a bunch of stuff in the beginning and then finding out what I really didn't like and cutting it out and just saying, okay, which of my colleagues do I know that really like this kind of work? Anytime someone asks me about this, I will pass this work on to them. I don't want to do any work that is over 5 minutes of finished audio. I have patterned my entire career after that because I like not having fires. So if something is 5 minutes or less of audio, there's no fire. Someone asks me to replace something, I'm doing the whole thing over again. It's still not all that long. Or I'm replacing a sentence or two and I'm getting it to them as quick as I can. Not a big deal. There's no huge stressful, oh my God, I can't get this done in the time they need. That just doesn't happen. And also I find that gives me a different day every day. It's always different. So I really like that. That's what I feed on as far as my career is concerned. So I've said no to a lot of things and passed on work to my colleagues, and I am totally fine with that. And I think that a lot of times when we say no, we're afraid that nothing else is going to come our way.
Yeah.
And there's a mindset that you have to have at some point in this business that just says, I'm leaving it to the universe. I know that I know what I'm doing. And, this is assuming that we're all getting regular coaching, that we're all learning, however you're learning as we go. There's still more to learn. You can't stand still. But at the same time, saying no doesn't mean you're never going to work again.
So just you know you're making room for something else to
exactly
to the void, right?
Yes, exactly. So being calm and understanding of that void that will be filled. So saying no to one thing that I don't want to do will allow that void to be filled with something I do want to do. And I have not hesitated to say no ever since. And that means that I have the career I want.
Can I just add to that, Jodi, in that one of the beauties is also sacking clients.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get to that point in your career, I mean, I've been doing this 35 years. There's such a sweet spot where you're like, this is not worth this energy. I do not want to work with this person anymore. And then you find an elegant...
It means fire.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought for a second, did you say sucking clients?
Wow, dude. Seriously?
Oh,
I haven't even had a drink today.
The
I just
program can
sack. S-A-C-K.
Fire.
Fire. If you want to fire, get rid of a client. It's the first one is it's very refreshing, and then it just gets easier and easier where you're like, usually what I will say is, this isn't working for me, or something polite. You don't have to be mean. But it's a huge, I think, milestone in your career where you say, no, that's not for me, in whatever context, whether it's the gig or whether it's the human that you don't particularly to work with.
Yeah.
It's perfectly possible to say no, thank you. And I enjoy saying no, thank you.
I think I've actually talked about this before, but I have a pain in the ass-o-meter.
Yeah.
So I have clients who I love working with, and they make my job so easy. I can be on an IPDTL session with them for 5 or 10 minutes. They're using the spot for a week or 2 weeks. I don't charge them very much. I still have a minimum, but it's like the low end of whatever I would accept. And then there are people who want me to do 5-minute narrations, who are always asking for redos and always wanting something extra. And to them, I'm going to charge twice as much as I would anyone else because I want them to say no.
Fortunately, that usually backfires. I always thought it's like when you're like, it's going to be this much money.
Yes.
Okay. You're like,
Okay.
damn it.
Oh.
Can I?
With
can
that
I
one,
just-
let's hope it's less than 5 minutes.
Can I just piggyback on Marilla and something I know about Jodi? And that's, you said, don't be mean. I think it's really important to not be mean. I mean, here we are, a Canadian bunch of people, and in general, we are not. So, yay to us. But I mean, Jodi has said to clients, and I don't know if this is something I can share, but I think it is. It's like, your budget doesn't work, but if you have a bigger budget on a different project, feel free to come back to me. So they might come back. Maybe they just didn't have the budget. Maybe they just aren't working with the right people, but then this person leaves, starts up their own company, goes to another company, and they come back to you. So I think it's important to remember when you start doing that, just don't be mean. It's just not, it doesn't get you anywhere, and you can reap the rewards of being nice.
Yeah, never burn a bridge.
You don't need to feel
Or
obliged to
as we
take
say
what's
in
put in front of
England,
you.
just don't be a dick in any job. That's really the
We
bottom
say
line.
that here too.
Yeah.
I'm on avis.
I actually have that as a sticker on my wall. It says, don't be a dick. But Kim, I wanted to hear from you, like an aha moment, but possibly from a casting director's perspective of go with that. Like, it could be like working with talent, or you just go with it, because I know you've got something to say and I want to hear it.
Well, I think it'll probably translate, but by the same, kind of repeating and jumping on to what everybody already said,
All good.
being versatile. And so by that, I mean, when I started out, I was only doing commercial stuff, and I wanted to sort of venture into other areas. People wouldn't let me. So that was kind of irritating. So I had meetings and meetings and meetings, and yeah, but you just do commercial, but it's the same talent pool. They can do other things. So that was weird to be met up against a wall in that way.
Yeah.
And my aha moment, I think, was when I had a meeting to I don't know, quote on an animated series, and I was there, and there was, well, you guys probably know who it is because you're all from here, but anyway, there was a competitor in a meeting just before me, and I was sort of listening through the wall, trying to get some, listening, getting some hints what I'm going to say, and I had always, because I didn't know a lot about animation at that time, I was faking it, and so I was trying to guess what my clients wanted to hear. What, what's your process and what do you do? And I'd make it up. And I thought, instead of just saying who I am and what I want to do, I tried to guess. And so as these people, how's it going? And left, and I was waiting in the waiting, I overheard the client say, well, I mean, they're the best. So like, what's the point? Like why keep going? I'm like, but I'm still in the waiting room. Like, it was awful. And so I had to go into the meeting knowing the decision was already made. Left, went out to my car, cried. I'm stuck and I'm terrible and I'm never gonna. And then it's fine. So getting over that and just realizing that it's okay. You're gonna be cool. And getting back to just be yourself. Just be yourself. That's what they want to hear. And that's when I started to book other stuff, animation and gaming, and then finding out, oh my God, I like both of those things more than commercial. Who knew that was going to happen? So that would be my aha moment. Crying in my car. How about that?
But it's a pivotal moment. It's like there's those moments that you remember for whatever reason, and they're the moments that make the positive change. Like, and usually they're shitty moments. Like, usually they're moments where you're like, this sucks, and I can go one way or the other. I can sit in the car and cry and be like, I'm done, I'm going to go work at Starbucks. Or you can sit in the car and cry and be like, okay, I've had my cry. Now what did I learn from that? And how can I make it better?
Yeah.
Right? And we all have those moments. Like, Dervla was saying today, she's like, so you just posted about imposter syndrome and then you just got 4 nominations for Sobas. Did that help? I'm like, no, it didn't. Because I'm still in the midst of imposter syndrome. So it's like, that's wonderful and it's great. And the accolades are wonderful, but you're still like, I still suck.
Just like, I got nominated, but I know I'll never win. Oh.
Doesn't make any sense.
Just getting nervous.
Derv?
Yeah, Derv. Uh-huh.
Okay, I made a list.
Yes.
You've all inspired me. So I mean, not like a huge list, but I feel like it's constant learning, right? And I guess they're more just like realizations than ahas. I guess that could be the same thing though. But the first one, not the first, but just first one that I wrote down relates to Kim, actually, when you said, oh, little did you know that you actually like animation and gaming more. So Jodi, I remember when you said your strategy years ago that you didn't want to do anything more than 5 minutes. And I was like, that's a great strategy. I'm gonna pursue that too. So I did for a while. And I don't even know, I must have forgotten or something. I don't know. But I started doing e-learning and I was like, e-learning is gonna be so boring. But I really like it. I'm learning all this stuff. I am like the cybersecurity queen now. I know everything about cybersecurity. Like there's things that I'm literally like reading an entire course, and I learned so many things that I would just never take the time to learn otherwise. I thought I would hate e-learning, like standing reading for half an hour or like half an hour of finished audio. I don't love the editing, but I'll just farm that out. But yeah, so just being open to exploring different genres, even if I think I'm not going to like it, giving it a try. Then, this was a big one too. Just how wonderful ongoing clients are.
Oh,
At the beginning of my career, for the first like half or more, I was making about 80% of 80 or 90% of my income was from online casting sites. And I would hustle and audition. And I made, I was a full-time voice actor just off of that. So I made enough to live off of. But I started to get burnt out. And the idea of sending marketing emails, I was resisting it so much. But when I finally was like, okay, I'll just suck it up and do it. And Amanda Logan, if anyone knows her and I would jump on Zoom calls for like 2 hours a day. We wouldn't even talk. It's just knowing that someone else is there. And we would just spend those 2 hours focusing on marketing. And Mike, did I just see hearts come out of you saying that's weird? She just had a baby. Congrats, Amanda. Anyway, so just like sucking it up and doing the marketing, knowing that out of 100 emails, I can expect to only maybe get 4 or 5 replies. Of that, only get 1 or 2 clients. But doing enough of them, it's a numbers game. And now I barely touch online casting sites. I'll do 1 audition maybe a week on an online casting site. All my money comes from ongoing clients, and it is so lovely for them to just send me a script and say, hey, get it back to us in a couple days. Mm-hmm. Rather than here's an audition, you're probably not going to get it, but record it and edit it anyway. So I'm sorry, I'm going through this list because I'm hoping it, maybe inspires some people or gives them some ideas. Another thing was not being afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a session and the director says, a little more conversational, throw it away a bit more, something. And I'm like, well, I don't really quite. I had a session once where she kept saying a little bit more conversational, like 8 times. And I was like, I'm clearly not knowing what you're saying. You're like, but I said, do you mean, I should, emphasize this a bit more, or just like I would go and ask more questions, and then we eventually got the read. But when I was earlier in my career, I'd be too scared to ask because I didn't want to sound like I didn't know what I was talking about. But I think, and Kim, you're a voice director, you would rather them say, get clarity than just constantly keep doing it wrong and you being like, they're not getting it. You'd rather them just say, is this what you mean? Or can you explain a bit more?
Totally.
And when you're new,
you're right, Dervla. And people ask that all the time. And I almost feel like when I'm teaching, I'm giving them permission to ask because there's nothing wrong with it. I want you to do a good job. So ask away. No one's going to slam you for it.
Yeah. So if anything, they're like, okay, she cares about, or she or he or they care about giving a good read and they want to do it right and not waste everyone's time. Okay. And then the last one, promise. And then there was a million more, but, and then, Jodi and Marilla and the conversation also kind of inspired me. What you were saying was, letting go of clients. Another way to look at that is not making decisions out of fear. Like if a job came in and it was paying terrible and it was going to take up a bunch of time and I just wasn't going to make much money, but I didn't have anything else lined up, wanting to say no, only wanting to accept it because I'm scared that I'm not going to get anything else, it actually works to your detriment. Well, first, like, devalues yourself, and it tells the client that it's okay to pay someone that rate. But you're also then blocking off all that time that you could use finding clients, auditioning for other things, or for other work that might come in. So, and I don't know, call it the universe or whatever, but every time I've turned down something like that, something better's always come along. So, yeah. Okay. That's it. I hope that helped.
Derv, you want to go first on the next question?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Let's do it.
goal do you want to accomplish in the coming year, or what's a bucket list job you want to put out to the universe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, okay. The only one that comes to mind, and so I used to be a singer. I've been singing. My first singing lesson was at 5. I had to get permission to join the school and the church choir because I was too young and I really wanted to get into it. So that's how I ended up in voiceover. And through singing, I'd sing Disney songs, and I was like, I want to be a Disney princess. Like, I always wanted to be one. And little did I realize, it's voice actors that are Disney princesses. But back then I was like, well, I'm a singer. I can be a Disney princess. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen because I don't do animation. So, but you never know, right? I mean,
we're talking about trying new things. So,
yeah, that's the thing. Laura Schreiber, a good voiceover friend of mine, I'm sure most of you know. She has been doing voiceover, I don't know, like 15 plus years. She's just recently started audiobooks and she loves it. I guess it's never too late. And I still sound like I'm in my 20s. So, you know.
See, Jodi, it's never too late for audiobooks. She's like, count on me.
Jodi, yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's a bucket list.
Disney princess. I love it.
You know.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it not PG and say, fuck no.
We have definitely earned the explicit badge on tonight's show.
These are my ladies. I love them.
But, all the power to her for loving audiobooks. I bow down to people who do that. That is amazing work.
I make way too many mistakes. It would take me way too long to read that.
Whereas for one take works, I love audiobooks.
Brilliant.
Yeah, my brain makes words up way too much.
Before we continue around the group with this bucket list sort of goals question, we got somebody that snuck in the room, this troublemaker guy.
Oh, yeah.
Pongracz.
So he's going to get blindsided and have to answer the question. Mike Pongracz in the house. How's it going, buddy?
First time, long time. I think
first time. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, but always.
I'm like the Rick Moranis Clubhouse. I just kind of show up once every 6 years
and shakes his fist like an angry man standing in the middle of his lawn.
But always welcome.
That's what I've become.
Yes,
that's what I've become.
Mike, you've been doing some. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry,
I was just gonna say it's nice to hear your voices again because for a multitude of reasons, I just distanced myself from a lot of the whole VO brouhaha. I guess take a break more so than I think so. But it is very nice to hear such lovely voices from people that I do know, and it's great to hear how everybody's been doing and all the exciting things that are going on. So
we missed you, Mike.
We miss you.
Well, thank you.
And Mike, I know you've posted a couple of things recently about some cool stuff that you've done in the past little while, and always one of the things that I love about seeing your posts, even though they're not super frequent, is how you really pull everybody that's involved in the creative process, the whole team that's involved in a project that you participate in, into posting about it and giving credit across the whole gamut of the team. And that's really amazing to see. It's not just about you. It's not just about, we tell this to people so much, it's not just about you. Okay, you're the voice actor, yes, but it's not just about you.
Well, and this is the thing, and you guys were talking about aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently did an interview with one of the local colleges talking about voiceover and such. And And I was asked, so what's the biggest piece of advice that biggest lesson you've learned over the last, I don't know, 20 or 40 odd years? And I said, if for me, it's pretty simple. Rather than build client lists, build relationships. Yeah. Because the relationships mean so much more. And that's to your point, Mike. When I talk about the people that work on stuff that I get to voice, that I'm privileged to voice, there are so many ridiculously talented people in so many different parts that are moving that, sometimes they don't feel or they don't get the credit that they deserve. Mm-hmm. And and it blows my mind how, just those kinds of sort of gestures or acknowledgments can go, because as voice actors, we love being told, hey, that was great. We secretly, we all want to feel like we're doing the right thing. Imposter syndrome, Emma? What?
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Exactly. We have imposter syndrome, and it's always nice to be told, hey, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And that's no different than, the person who's editing your audio into a video, or the engineer who's recording, or the person sitting at the front who's, handing you your audition script when you go into the casting. Like, all these people, they have important roles. So I think I said this long ago in my past life, I was on the other side of the glass, and I know the amount of work that goes into it, and hell's yeah. But relationships, I think I also said this, is that your best friend should be the person that's on the other side, the person that's engineering, the person that's working with you, because down the line, if something comes up and you're the easy person to work with, you're not going to take up a lot of time. You're not a diva. You're respectful. That their opinion can go a long way if something comes up. So, yeah, I totally dig. I enjoy sharing the process. It's fun, and that is part of the reason, Mike, you were alluding to. Yeah, I've had some pretty exciting things happen lately, and partially the gig that I'm doing now was a 10-year long game, I guess. It was like the long game, but it was built out of a relationship that I had made, 10 some odd years ago. So yeah, it's about that. It's not about getting a master list of clients, because clients just seems business, and it seems like it's so impersonal, and it's just a numbers thing. So when you throw the relationship in it, I like to be friendly, or at least have some sort of connection with the people that I work with. And I think that's why I don't spend a lot of time having to slog trying to find the next gig, because, I think that's part of my thing, is I've built relationships with people over the years. So, yeah.
I think that's a really important point, because it's, networking at the end of the day, networking all of the stuff that we're doing, direct marketing. If you can create a relationship with someone, they're the one that's going to come back. And it's like what Dervla was saying with return clients. And it's return clients, but it ends up, it's like, them by name, they know you by name. They're reaching out to you because they know you're going to do a good job, because they've worked with you before. You're easy to work with. Why would they go and find somebody else?
Yeah. And Joe Cipriano said it best: work smarter, not harder. And as we get along in our careers, that's the game plan. The idea is not to have to be auditioning 50 times a day. Like, I laugh when I laugh just because I'm a cynical bastard sometimes. No shock. But when I see people posting on socials saying, oh, I did 75 auditions today across, all these platforms, I'm like, that's not fun. Like, if that's fun for you, awesome. If that's what you got to do, cool.
I would say, though, at the beginning of your career, when you don't have that established client base, you do have to audition a lot until you start kind of building up that.
Mike, do you remember that? Do you remember?
Well, that's funny.
Like, never auditioned.
No, again, I came up at a different time. I mean, my auditioning wasn't through pay to play sites. It was, you hoped that your agent would fire your name with some scripts, and there was a lot of that. and I get it. If you're new, you got to hustle and you want to do that. I don't know. I guess I'm just, like you said, the old man sitting on the porch, Clint Eastwood style, yelling at people to get off my lawn.
We left it anyway.
I think I found the peace, and I think that's why it's now at this point in my career that I'm the happiest I've been. I'm working more than I ever have, but not so much as it doesn't feel like it's work. It's a weird thing, but I'm busier than I've been in a long time, but not because I've got 75 things hopping. It's just a handful of clients. You got rely on you on a regular basis. So, yeah. But it's cool.
Mike, I wanted to kind of circle back and encapsulate something that you were saying in there about building those relationships, and hopefully people realize that it's not just about being the best performer. It's not just being about the best read. It's being easy to work with, being humble, taking direction, being efficient, being on time, all the human nature things that make for good relationships. Those exist before, during, and after voiceover. And I think that's what you've really hit with that.
And it's listening. And Kim will totally get this. As a director, and she mentioned it, they're on your side and they're trying to pull something out of you. If you can't listen, like if you're not listening, if you're so focused on the process but this is me, I'm doing me. No, like listen, be directable. Like it seems like it's common sense, which again, that's the one thing that with voiceover, and I think it's for a lot of different professions, the stuff that we should know, that's common sense. It's almost like we need to be told dozens of times before you're right. But common sense, I guess, doesn't sort of factor in.
Common sense is not so common. Yeah. Kim, I actually wanted you to jump in on this because, it's like we're a bunch of actors in the room, but we have the privilege of having a casting director who's a booth director also in the room to contribute to this. Like, what is it that you see all the time that you experience that people, you're just like, just stop it?
Oh, really? You want to go here?
Get the popcorn.
No, you know what? No, exactly what Mike was saying. There's people, and Derv, you sort of almost touched on it too. When you start out, you're nervous. And what I see from people that are just starting out is I will give direction and they will go, yep, okay, yeah, yep, got it, okay, yep. I'm like, you're not listening to me at all. You're just trying to be agreeable. And you can tell because then on the next read, it's the same. So weird. So that's one. That's a big one. And as Mike was saying, not preparing. Like, do your homework. If you're going to show up to an audition or, a callback or whatever it is, or send something in, send a read in, know what got you there in the first place. Don't veer off that. Like, prepare and do your homework and get your scripts ready and look at them beforehand. So I've had people come in and they're on series and they don't read the scripts. Don't read them, like on an animated series. And about 3, I know. And 3 or 4 episodes in, I'm like, so I have a sidebar and say, I just want to be, you don't read the scripts, do you? No. Okay. So you want me to, but no, they had no plans to do it. And
how is that possible?
Right? Yeah.
What is wrong with people?
What is wrong?
Because that's just it's just a job to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's
exactly.
just a job.
Yeah.
It's all payday. And that's, you're dead in the water there. If that's your motive, if that's all it is, go work just a regular job. Because clearly it means nothing. Yeah.
No, and it's not fun to have them in the room, and the clients feel that too. It's just, they're just, because then I'm just feeding them context, and they're just giving something back without actually knowing where the character's plugged in. It's so weird. But yeah, that happens. And read the instructions when you're submitting. Read the instructions. Because they're all different all the time. Backslate it. Don't slate it. Put a slate on it. Yes, in character, not in, like, And that's how they want it. So whatever the person says, do that. Don't send video. Don't do that, because that happens. Yeah. Like crazy shit happens. And I go, ooh, garbage. Yeah. So there you go. There's some pointers.
It's just like, I don't think it ever really gets old because there's always something new that you find out that someone's done that you're like, I'm so
People send video?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the?
Oh, yeah. So now our breakdowns have to say everything for every dum-dum. Don't send a video like you would think you'd have to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Breakdown too long now. Yeah.
But you know what, Kim? It's interesting when you say that and the weird things that people do. I think sometimes that gets perpetuated by maybe bad advice that they pick up on socials, where
that's true.
It's the idea, try to stand out, be different, because you don't want to be just, and I think
the slate.
People take that too far. Just do you. And again, it sounds so common sense, but I think at the end of the day, most actors you meet are probably very neurotic and self-conscious and imposter syndrome, as that words come up. And I think we just get inside our own head. Emma, trust me, you and I, we've talked about this. I have just as much imposter syndrome as the next. But I think people do sort of get it in their heads. Oh, I have to be different. I need to stand out because there's 150,000 people that are online and auditioning for the same thing. So what's going to set me apart? I'm going to send a video of me doing because they're going to love me. Yeah.
I'm going to sing my slate. No, don't do that.
No, one of the best pieces of advice I got recently was actually at the Joseph masterclass in LA. I went to do a promo masterclass with Joseph Briano. And one of the coaches on that was a guy named David Alden, and he has been with CBS for a really long time. Lovely man. So I'm pooping my pants. Like, I'm scared crapless, literally. And there was 12 of us, and I was number 12 to go on the first round. And I was like hyperventilating in a freezing room because it was like minus 942 with the air conditioning. So I get up and I choose Dancing with the Stars because I constantly get promo auditions for Dancing with the Stars. And I've been told to do them like, Dancing with the Stars. So I do this. And he's like, I don't know what that was. And to his credit, he had stalked all of us on social media. Like, he had gone into our websites. He'd listened to all of our demos. He'd gone onto all of our social media platforms. He'd followed all of us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on all of the things. And David comes out to me and he's like, so, you know those videos that you do for Clubhouse, like the post videos, like the recap videos? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you're really excited in those. I'm like, yeah. He's like, but you're excited, Emma excited, not fake, bubbly, over the top. He's like, I feel like that's not you. I said, it's not. He's like, okay, so tell me about like the latest show you did on Clubhouse. And we talked about it for a couple of minutes. He's like, now do the script. And I was like, what? I was like, Dancing with the Stars. It's going to move you. It's going to groove you. It's going to do this. Great. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, and there's the booked spot. He's like, it doesn't need to be. He's like, just because, again, be you. But we think, and Pongracz, we've talked about this, especially with promo. He's like, people think that it has to sound a particular way. Yeah. And it doesn't. It's like what Bev was saying. You're bringing the emotion to the read. You're bringing the connection and the authenticity to the read. So yeah, I'm excited about when I'm talking about, and then we had Derv on the show, and we had Bev on the show, and we had Jodi on the show, and I was so excited, but I'm not like, and then we had Jodi on the show and Bev on it, because that's not who I am.
Exactly. And like you said, that's not what they want. And in something that I've been doing, that was one of the main things, is they wanted somebody who was believable, like, to the audience, that they would believe he's into this. Like, he's telling you because he's excited. And I am legit when I do it. I'm excited because I'm the same person watching that channel, and I'm watching those same events. And yeah, I'm super jazzed to tell you all about it. So, and that's it. It's not about, being some, trying to pretend to be, a Jeff Berlin or, a Joe Cipriano, or be, Don LaFontaine always gets brought up. but you don't have to be somebody else. Be you, because you are unique and you bring your own personality to it. So
I think to what Emma was saying about people have like this preconceived notion of what it's supposed to sound like, and that goes across all genres. Like many people have a preconceived notion of what IVR or what telephony phone messages are supposed to sound like. Thank you for calling ABC Corp. And they have an idea of what e-learning is supposed to sound like. Welcome to Module 1, and it's all, but we can be ourselves and still deliver those reads. That's what makes it special. And
that's the whole finding your voice.
Exactly.
Find your voice.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever that emotion or version is inside you. The snarky Mike. But I think that's standard.
That's just me. That's normal, Mike. Yeah, that's it.
That's how Mike and I always get paired as husband and wife in Voiceover. Yes, we're snark and snark together.
Snark and snark.
You know what? And people that know me understand. They get. I'm not a bad person. I'm a nice guy. It's just I have the BS meter at my age now, where I'm like, I just don't have time for the garbage anymore. So yeah, it's kind of like Jodi with long form narration. Nobody got time for that.
Mike, while we still have you, how about that bucket list item or that goal for the next 12 months?
I think I'm doing it right now. To be honest,
True,
man.
I honestly think I'm doing the bucket list right now and writing it out. The only other bucket list thing I do think I would love to do is work outside of VO with some of my friends on the sports entertainment side, aka wrestling.
Your bestie.
One of my besties, yeah, he's changed companies, and exciting things are happening for him, and we enjoyed working together. We did some stuff with the WWE a couple of years ago, and I would love to play in his new sandbox with some of my old peeps again. But as far as bucket list VO jobs, yeah, it's happening right now, and it's amazing. Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Jodi Krangle, how about you? What's on the 5 minutes and less bucket list?
Well, I mean, I kind of have the podcast talking about audio branding specifically because I really would like to be a brand voice for some kind of travel, hospitality, something, maybe an airline, maybe a major hotel chain, something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of working my way.
Yeah. So, taking it further than just booking a spot or a campaign, but ultimately being a brand voice.
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to, with the podcast, convince people that consistent repetition is where it's at. And voice is part of that. So if you really want an audio brand, if you want to be remembered for your sound, you need to consistently use that audio over and over again. And when brands consistently change their voice, they're not doing the best they could for their brand as far as the sound that is associated with them is concerned. And I have found that the more high profile that thing is, the less likely they are to stick with the voice that they hire once in a blue moon.
Strange.
So, yeah, and I find that really frustrating. I don't know how the rest of you feel about that, but I find it pretty frustrating. And I would like to let the people in charge know that they need to think about the voice that they're using as part of their audio brand, and they need to be consistent with that for at least a little while,
I mean, just like you wouldn't change your colors. Like if your colors are a certain blue and a certain red and they've been those two colors forever, would you go and make them yellow and green all of a sudden? Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part and parcel of a brand, and you want that brand to be memorable, and that brand becomes memorable when you sound the same way consistently, and that is actually who you are. So if brands really want to make an impact, my thought is, and that's what I talk about on the podcast with many different people in that kind of an area, ad agencies and sound production companies and production companies in general and content creators and all of that, about being consistent with the sound, and that includes the voice. So I'm hoping that at some point someone takes it to heart.
It's out in the universe.
Yeah.
Gonna happen now.
I hope so.
Well, you've been putting it out in the universe. We're not going to take credit here on this show.
Well,
this one show. No.
No.
You've been putting it out there for long enough, and it's going to happen.
I will keep doing that.
And when you do, we want to hear about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bev.
Who's next, Emma?
Bev.
Mine's easy. What is your question? My goal is I haven't really accomplished my goal this year, but it will continue into next year, and that's to change. I had a new mantra I don't make, January 1st things, but last year I said I am no longer going to have a work-life balance. I am going to have a life-work balance, and I have put me ahead of everything. I have put my time with my grandchild ahead of some jobs. Nope, I'm not available tomorrow. I can do it Thursday. I'll have it done by 8 o'clock tomorrow night, but I'm busy during the day playing with a kid who likes me. At this point in time, she's only 3. So
cute.
Well, and she went into my booth the other day. She was here and she goes, Nana, I have to work. And she walks into my booth, crawls up on the stool and looks at and I instantly stick, my audio on to record her. And she's just looking, going, hi, watching the wave file grow and spin. And then she goes, you have to close the door, Nana. So I close the door and she's singing and doing absolutely nothing that makes sense. And she goes, okay, I'm done. So I open the door and she goes, okay, you can talk now. And she goes and plays. And it's like, yes, but it's fun. But I wouldn't have done that if I had to say, no, I have to work. I do 10, 12 hours a day, every day, whether it's training, coaching, working, auditioning, you name it, bookkeeping, marketing, all the things you do in this industry. And so that was my goal, and I haven't perfected it yet. I still get myself way too stressed out. It's like, sure, we can go to Legoland. Oh, but I really have to get home by, just stop. Today's Legoland, tomorrow's work, right? So I'm getting better at that. So that's my goal for success for me as I get older. I don't want to go to my grave and have people say, wow, she really loved her job and she loved to work. There's more to me than that, right? So I want to be that. As far as a bucket list, what job I'd like to do, there's way too many for tonight. I would love when someone says, oh, you're a voice actor? Where would I know you? And I don't have to say, well, I'm the original voice of TikTok and I'm the voice of a bank, but I can't really tell you who that is. And I'd love to say, oh, I've got a commercial airing right now. It's Lind. No, because I hear Jodi all the time, right? So I think, and sometimes I'd like to be, like you said, a brand voice they say, oh, do you do cartoons? Do you do animation? It's like, no, not some, but no, not all. Nobody ever hears my work. And I remember quite a while ago, I was the narrator of a TV show. And I told my mechanic, who was an old high school friend, I said, oh, you should watch. And they watched it. And about, I don't know, I drove a really old car, so I saw this guy a lot. And we were I don't know, 2 months into it. And it was a weekly show and it was a reality show. And he said, I've been watching that show and I don't hear you. And I said, well, the narrator. And he goes, yeah. And I said, and he goes, yeah, that British lady. And I went, uh-huh, that's me. And he goes, oh, so even when I'm, heard, nobody knows it's me. Sorry, Ralph.
It makes you feel any better. My mother has never recognized my voice on radio or television. My sisters are constantly like, that's Emma, or they'll be like to my nieces, that's Auntie Emma. My mother's like, don't be ridiculous. No, it's not.
My daughter did that. She phoned me one day and she said, I just heard you on the Super Bowl. And I'm going, what? She goes, yeah, we're getting a U.S. feed. And I went, well, that's cool. It was regional, so it wasn't, as big a deal as it could have been, but she'll pick me up. She picked me up on Jocelyn, Maine, which is now, Jocelyn, Maine was my client back in the day. My client was Wayfair. It's like, shoot, would have liked to have been brought along, but it didn't happen. So that might be a fun bucket list, get back on Wayfair.
My parents are constantly mistaking me for other people.
Oh,
They say, "Oh, was this you?" No, Mom. No.
Look, if you're a Canadian voice actor if you're an English voice actor in Canada, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I heard you on the radio." I was like, "Yeah, that's not me. That's just another British person." Okay, so that's rude.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, that wasn't that was Emma Watson, or
No, it's not even anyone famous. To be fair, it's just another English. It's probably Mia Fothergill. I hope Mia's listening. She's my friend. It's fine.
Mia's great.
But we literally, it's like, did you get that one? No, I did. Did you get that one? No, I did. Okay, cool.
Well, Marilla, you go now.
Your turn.
So my bucket list job, because I am becoming a resident back in the UK again next year, is to do ensemble radio again. Because radio drama is a thing in the UK, and I've done one ensemble animation, and it was one of the best, most fun gigs I've ever done. So I don't care what it is. It can be drama, it can be comedy, it can be animation. I want to play 19 different characters all in the same episode. Thank you very much. And I will be doing a massive rebrand. So I will be the artist formerly known as Marilla Works. Let's see how that goes. So that's
gotta find a symbol for you.
You're going to find a what? A symbol.
Symbol.
It'll just be a middle finger. I'll be like, bye, I'm good.
That's perfect.
Cheers. Thank you.
You know, Marilla, it's so fun you say that. When I was 18, I worked for CBC Radio, and I ended up as a production assistant on a live radio drama show, and it was so much fun. Who knew that I would use any of that skill that I got, but it was so much fun. It was an on-hold company, and the voice actors would phone in and be all these different people and stuff, and it was hysterical, but it was fun to watch the interaction among each other. So when I got into the voiceover, it's like, here you are on your own. It's like, what? I mean, I'm on my own. Where's everybody else?
Sucks.
So fun. Good luck to you.
Thank you. And I've done it before. Like my first gig out of drama school was I was playing a 14-year-old sex worker at the grand old age of 25. And that was in the Pebble Mill studios where they used to record, and still do record, The Archers, the longest running serial drama in British radio or indeed the world. So my mum was chuffed to bits. That means very happy for non-English people. So yeah, that's my BS for next year. That'll be fun. Watch my progress. I will fall down. It's fine.
It'll be great. And you'll just keep getting back up and getting even better and better and better. Ms. Hurden, if you could work on any show of any production or create something, what would you do? What's your bucket list?
Then over the next year, I will get 2 new animation houses as clients, and I will get 2 new gaming studios as clients, because that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And you guys think you have it bad. People don't know what you do and don't recognize you. What about me?
True.
Right? They're like, well, the people that talk. Yeah. I tell them how to talk. Someone does that?
So you talk about unicorns do exist and try to convince people that, in fact, unicorns do exist, and you train them. You are a coach of unicorns.
Yeah.
Yes.
And bucket list, I'm going to win an Emmy. I'm going to win an
Emmy. Yes.
For animation. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
There you go. Putting it out there.
Hells yes.
Okay.
We're going to party.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Love it. I love it. I love this stuff. It's so much fun.
So, Kim, I'll see you at the Emmys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have won my Oscar for Disney Princess, and we'll be running in the same circles. So that's
fantastic.
Because you're going to sing the best song for the Oscar.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So good. Oh my God! It's every time I look at the clock, it's like there was a night that Marilla and Kim and I were out, and it was 10 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Can I just say that was one of the best nights I've had in a dog's age. Let's do that again.
We should.
That was crazy. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. What's happening? And I feel like that's happening right now, because it's like I looked at the clock and it was like 7:00 something. And now I'm like, how the hell did what?
Let's just call this a mid-show reminder, right?
A mid-show reminder was 12 minutes.
No, we're going long.
Do it.
We're going long. Wait a minute, I got to scan through my scan through my stuff here because it's all out of whack, the order. Yeah, mid-show reminder. It's if you joined us partway through this evening's show, this is the Voiceover Round Table here on Clubhouse Live every Tuesday night from 7:30 p.m. Eastern on 4:30 p.m. Pacific, talking about all things voiceover with a special focus on community, bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
And tonight, he has to point at me because I forget because I start looking at the chat. We have an amazing group of friends with us to celebrate the Voiceover Roundtable's 1-year anniversary. Kim and Marilla X and Dervla Trainor and Jodi Krangle and Bev Standing. We're so grateful for you to be here. And Mike Pongracz finally accepted the invitation and got his butt up on the stage. Very excited.
I had some children that kept ringing the doorbell, and I have a dog that's not exactly the most quiet and most docile with strangers at the door. So there was a lot of barking and poor little kids getting scared off by like the most passive golden retriever who's just super excited. That's all.
People! I love the people.
Let me give them candy.
Yeah.
I miss that. I live in the country and there is nobody that comes to my house. I'd be terrified if they did. So no candy for me. I'll buy it tomorrow when it's on sale.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, folks, tonight is not just about celebrating our show's 1-year anniversary, but an opportunity for everyone to share, learn, and grow. So we want to kind of, consider this maybe sort of an Ask Us Anything kind of opportunity. The guests in here combined probably have more than 100 years total combined experience in the voiceover business. So
Thanks for making me feel old.
Combined.
I don't
combined.
Thank you.
I've got 95 on my
Pongracz
own.
alone.
All together.
Pongracz alone is like half of that, no?
Jeez.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And I also wanted to throw out a couple of things. I wanted to throw out that if you want to coach with one of the best coaches on the planet, Miss Kim Herden at KH Casting, there's a possibility she might at some point be coaching people because KH Casting is doing their thing in full swing. And for those of you who are relatively new to the industry in the audience, all of us get asked on the daily how to get into this business. All of us, I have PDFs. We all send lists or, websites or stuff to people, and it never really seems enough. So the lovely Dervla Trainor has actually put everyone's thoughts together in a concise video module class. You continue, because I'm just going to talk crap if I continue with it. So,
Well, thanks. It's first of all, talking about years, I actually checked LinkedIn about a few weeks ago, and it's been 10 years since I first dipped my toes into wacky world. I created a course. I release modules over the course of a month, and it basically is teaching you everything you need to know to get started in voiceover, from how to set up your home studio to how to find work, some tips on coaching and just a general state of the industry knowledge, what sessions are like, how to audition, all that. Because I know it's really hard to navigate everything that's out there. So I will give you a coupon code for $50 off. Use the code Clubhouse at checkout. And if you just click my bio, you can check out more info there. But registration closes on Sunday, and then I won't be opening again probably until next year. So check it out if you're a newbie. This is not for people who are already established.
no, if you're already established and you want to get a course, you'd sign up for the library with Tina Morosco.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
she also has, she's just a goddess. And she still has a coupon going for us that if you at checkout, you just put in a round table, all one word in capitals, then you will get a discount on that. We have a lovely, lovely, lovely human who has had his hand up forever and ever and ever that I'm going to see if we can get up on stage to have a wee chat with. He is a huge supporter of the voiceover community, of everybody in it. He's always he's just a cheerleader of everybody, always champion the cause. And so, Mr. Tom Antonellis, if you would like to unmute yourself, welcome.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Oh, you guys. Oh, What a group.
How are you, you gorgeous
Love you,
human?
buddy.
Love you too. Very, very much. I've had to fill my afternoon with, picayune tasks, stuff that needs to get done, but nobody's going to get it done unless you do it.
Yeah.
So I've had you on as my company through these tasks and just occasionally perking up and going, oh, I'm going to write that down. And just listening to these voices, to these talents, to these perspectives, I wanted to thank you, not just for today, but for all the meetings I was able to hit, all the ones I couldn't hit, where you enriched others, and to congratulate you on a year of just doing great work and amplifying great people. Thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you for mentioning me earlier, Mike. And I was actually crying at the time that you suspected I was. And it was because hearing you guys speak is like it's like the community talking back to you. It's the family that we all feel. It's the feeling that we love and revel in when we're able to attend a conference and see the people that we love. It's the opposite of the lonely feeling of the booth, which on most days is okay because it's what we do and what we love. And on some days it just rings a little lonely. And even if you're okay with booth loneliness and the occasional feeling, we're not always okay. And we need community as people. We need it.
Yeah.
That's before we're voiceover artists in a solitary profession, before an artist, which can be a lonely profession because, it just kind of is. Because it's very much about finding, as Bev was saying, I think it was Bev saying about finding that emotional truth. That process is very personal. That process is very internal. And you can get in your head and in your mind and in your heart, and you can get a little bit mired there. And that's before circumstances might come into play. And everyone has patches where life just does not seem like it's letting up. And at those moments, I feel the loneliness of our profession a little bit more acutely. So to know that if I can get myself free on a Tuesday afternoon, I don't have to feel that way because you're there is huge. So thank you.
Tom, can I say something to you? Well, I'm going to say something to you. It's Bev. Hi, and I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. I've got something going on in my life that's personal, and I was talking to somebody, and they said, well, tell your friends. And I went, well, I don't really have friends that I'm close with anymore. Sadly, at my age, they aren't around, or they've got their own thing. And their comment to me was, are you kidding me? The way you talk to me about the people you know at work, they truly are your friends. They're not just colleagues. So to that, Tom, you're right. We are a community, and we become friends, and we become alliances. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful world. I'm glad to be part of yours.
Thank you, Bev. Thank you. I feel the same. It's kind of like, in a way, what with Nava and gatherings like that's voiceover and VO Atlanta and One Voice, it kind of feels like we are remote workers in the same quasi company. And we don't, we might feel like we go to work when we go to our booth, but sometimes we don't really have to leave the house anymore. So we don't really go to work, and we don't have those work colleagues, which generally in other companies become friends that you might go out and have drinks with after work. But yeah, we get to have a global community of that. Right before your session here, I got a call from a colleague, friend, and they were stressed out, and we spent some time de-stressing. I didn't realize I was stressed until he started talking to me. And then I went, ooh, I got a little something here too. And yeah, I think it's medicinal to have groups like this. And my wiring is not such that I tend to ask for help. That is anti my wiring. So I have to do an extra set of, Tom, get on the phone, get off your ass, ask for help, talk to people. I have to do that talking. I shouldn't, but I do. That's just my wiring. So yeah, I cannot tell you as I look at these faces and in the group below and in other gatherings, I want you to know how important you all are to me. Really.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
And just so that you feel extra not alone, I think most of us in here are not wired to reach out for help. I know I am not, and yet I'm on in this with people who are dear friends of mine, and yet at the same time I have a block of, I shouldn't pick up the phone. No. And you know what? I think that we all hopefully are to take a million things from tonight's session, but I think that one of the things that hopefully we can take from tonight's session is that we can reach out. We can reach out to each other. We are connected already. We can reach out to each other and just say, hey, can we have a coffee talk, like on Zoom, on a walk, wherever you are? Just, do you have a second? I just need someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And I would have guessed that of your wiring, Emma. It's you're so strong. You have such a strong outward presence. But I also would have thought, yeah, she's probably like me. So
I've been described as an egg. You're an egg too. Hard exterior, soft, gooey insides.
I think so. Yeah. Although lately I'm more soft boiled than yeah.
You know, Tom, one of the things Jodi and I used to Zoom each other. It's like, hey, do you have a minute? We used to live like 20 minutes apart, and then I moved. And it was like, I miss our coffee meetups. Like, we should just chat. So we would open a Zoom room, and then we sort of put it out in our page, and we get other people joining in, and we turned it into the water cooler.
Yes.
And it's like when you're in an office and you just need a break, you get up and walk to the cafeteria, and someone goes by and goes, hey, Jodi, how's your husband? How's that new car you bought? How's, whatever. And so we turned it into a group. I do. That's why I said no. But yeah, so it's, if you look on Facebook, I don't have a link to put in, but it's just look up #watercooler-voiceover chat, join. And the idea behind it is if you think, this afternoon I'm going to have half an hour or 20 minutes, I don't turn this into a time suck, but I don't really allow threads on there because I don't want chatter that can't be reflected. So it's more like open a Zoom, open a Google Meet, open a whatever you can do, post the link and see who shows up. If you have a specific question, pose your question. At 2:00, I'm going to open a Zoom room if you're around, right? And it's never the same people. There's a few people that for some reason get notifications and others don't. Do that, add everyone, and they'll see it. But
put the link. Dave put the link in the room chat.
Thank you. But we have 1.2 members, like over 1,000 members in this group, from talent to casting directors to producers to anybody, right? Copywriters. There's quite a range. There's more about voice talent than anything else, but yeah, it's a great place to say, I can't be alone right now. I need to talk to somebody about something. I don't want to talk about work. I just need to talk to somebody. And so the community is there. So just to let you know that.
That's wonderful.
Oh, and I must add, it doesn't have to be me or Jodi that opens the room. It's any member can open a room. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm feeling fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy and love.
Told you the feels would come.
I know.
Told you
so
the feels.
Great.
Tom, thanks again for popping in and sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I love it. So what else do we have to share, or do we what are we doing? What's happening?
we're going long. That's what happened.
Yeah,
That happened. It's
that happened. That's already happened.
But if our group here has time, it would be great to open up to, maybe some questions that people might have, kind of that ask me anything kind of thing. If you do, if you don't, it's okay. You want to throw something in the chat? Great. Otherwise,
Dave's apologizing for being one step ahead of you.
Everybody's crying. That's what's happening.
Nah, it's okay. You're on it, Dave.
No, it's just lovely. We've got, I invited as many people as I could this evening. A lot of, as I said, most people are busy with kids and Halloween. So we're so grateful for all of you, for, the people on the stage, taking time out of your evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for everybody in the audience that has been able to come in and pop in and out, of the extra people that we're able to get up on stage to revisit little moments of the show over the last year. It is nuts. I've started to fill the 2024 calendar, as you do, as you do, and it's super fun to be at this point that now. I was in a session the other day, IPDTL, and they were like, "So, is there space in your calendar for us to be guests on your show?" I was like,
"That's fun.
Cool.
That's fun.
Absolutely, like in April. How
2027? No, that's awesome."
So it's really, really nice to get the feedback. It's really, really nice to know that we are, Dervla, you started this fantastic thing in the pandemic, and, Mike and I, for whatever reason, ended up picking it back up and running with it. And it's just always been a source of joy for people, I think. A great source of information, a great source of sharing and doing the thing that we do in voiceover, which is contribute and share and support and cheer each other on. So it's been a fantastic year.
Carlos dropped something in the chat, very appropriate to what you're just saying right now, and to what the conversation we were having before. He says, "It's incredible how far apart we are geographically, yet how close we are as family." And I think that sums up the voiceover community. It's not competition. It's not, others trying to get what you have and things like. Yeah, everybody supports everyone. There's enough to go around. I think that's one thing that our industry understands more than many others, is that there's enough to go around. There's a place for everyone, and be yourself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty incredible. So I feel like it's come to a natural.
They're going to let us do it.
I think it's a good thing.
Seriously, I can get ornery if you want.
Oh, no,
Pongracz is still on the stage. Jesus.
I wasn't going to kick him off because.
See, here's the thing. I was waiting for that one person. Do you remember that one show where somebody was trying to hijack the thing? And
it was so weird. It only happened once.
That person was drunk?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
We'll have to go scour the replays and get some outtakes from that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was my main purpose here, was to just, to police the room. But no, all the feels tonight. Yeah.
The bouncer. No.
The grumpy old bouncer.
No, I'm so glad you're able to show up. So glad you're able to be here. Yeah.
Well, I have before we sign off and we find out what's going on next week, which is what we typically do at this point, winding down, and before we see our thank yous to the group, I have a surprise to share.
Oh.
That my co-host is not even aware. Well, aware that the surprise announcement was coming down tonight, but. We talk about how this is a live show and this is a great place with Clubhouse and everything like that. But we realize, the reach sometimes can be limited due to time zones and due to people's busy lives. For example, if giving out candy is a priority tonight, I'm all for that. And so we kind of in order to expand the reach of the Voiceover Round Table, the Voiceover Round Table is now officially also available as a podcast.
You did it.
Yay!
On all your
Good talk about this forever.
favorite podcasting platforms. So if you want a home base to start on, you can go to VORoundtable.com, where is kind of the home base, and there's some just basic information and some links to the platforms and stuff like that. But if you have a favorite podcasting platform, by all means, there are some there, and there are so many podcasting platforms. So if we're not on your favorite and you think we should be on another one, send us something, like either in the socials or something like, hey, can you put your podcast on X? And I'll do the work and get it on there. It's not a problem. We're going to do it. So for now, we have started loading shows.
But he says he has. Oh, this is all Mike. We have talked about it for a long time. You have done this work, so thank you, Mike. That's fucking awesome. Just to keep it me, not a swear.
So there's a handful of shows up there, like the first few shows that we did. You want to talk about feels? The first show that we did last year was basically kind of like a VO North sort of reunion. And there were some real feels in that show, and it's awesome to re-listen to that. So there's a handful up there. And gradually, all of the replays will end up in the library. And going forward from this week, I'll also be posting the newest show on a weekly basis. So we have a podcast. So that's VORoundtable.com.
Fantastic. Thank you.
This is our time for tonight. And we did okay. I think we did okay. Yeah. So we want to say a big thank you. Emma, I'll let you go around the room and say the big thank yous.
To everybody that is here, Kim Hurden, I adore you. Thank you so much for being here. You are fucking awesome. Anyone who needs to coach with the goddess that is, please reach out to her because, oh my God, she'll change your life. And we'll go into another show if I talk about that. Marilla Wax. Rilaski. Love you. Love you. You are awesome. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your ridiculousness, and for knitting the entire time. Derv, the blue-headed goddess. Currently, she is a blue fairy. Thank you for starting this. Thank you for being so gracious when we approached you and said, hey, are you cool if we keep going with this thing? And you were like, go, I have a good time.
So I wanted to thank you two for taking the torch, because you took the torch and ran with it. You made this amazing. So thank you for keeping it going.
Thank you.
I'm making it better.
Thank you, Dirk.
It's grown and developed. Bev, I love you. You know, you are such a huge supporter of everybody in this community. You're always there. And, you know, to hear you say when you were like, I don't really have anyone to reach out to, bullshit. And I call bullshit. No, but I totally know how you feel. So thank you for being here. Thank you for just always being genuine and open and honest and caring and wonderful and supportive and just being your beautiful self. So thank you.
Mwah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I credit a lot of what you just said I do by learning and following what other people in this room and in this industry have done. So,
yep.
Thanks.
Jodi Krangle. Jodi's been around for me since the beginning of time. Like the beginning of time.
Too.
Seriously. Like she was one of those people that I went on my first kind of like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Lunch. We went and had lunch in North York somewhere.
We did, and it was lovely.
You know, and so thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for taking the time out. And thank you for you were always on the show throughout the pandemic, throughout all of this stuff. We've always had so much fun with this. So please accept our thanks for being here.
I am happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. It's always fun.
Thank you, Jodi.
Mr. Mike Pongracz.
Yeah, that's enough. Stop right there.
I love you. My VO husband, you cantankerous old fart. I love you. Thank you for showing up. He didn't answer an email, but he came into the clubhouse.
But is that's me though, isn't it? You know, I'm Mr.
God.
Social. I am social. Like, I don't come out for very many things anymore VO related, but I have a very soft spot for not only this show, but for you, Emma. Mike, not so much. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right?
But this show definitely, I would not have missed it. It was dicey. That's why I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up or dashed. But yeah, this has been. It's always nice to talk in this group setting with everybody that's on this panel, because I've known many of you for a very, very long time, and I think you guys know me the best out of the VO community. Maybe Garnet would know me a little bit better, but I think you guys get where I'm coming from. And yeah, Cantankerous, I'll take it. Come on, everybody. these roundtables need at least one person who's, gonna go against the grain. But congratulations, and Derv, thanks so much for passing the torch to these guys, because they've done an amazing job and will continue to do an amazing job. Represent. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. And Mr. Mike Tobin.
Huh?
I couldn't do this shit without you, bud. Seriously.
Did we thank Marilla?
Yes, I was just very quiet and polite when I was being thanked in the English way.
Very
fucking thanks, you twat.
Okay, okay.
Couldn't find her mute button.
Now that I've heard the swearing, I have confirmed
say anything, and so I thought we were supposed to be quiet, and then everyone else said thank you, and I felt like a fucking jackass. Thanks, you guys.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Jesus.
Marilla, I have a bucket list item for you.
Ready?
Do some stand up again.
Will you stop? Because my boyfriend is hucking me a Chinik about this already, and I'm like, can I just take a breath and accept the fact that I've had cancer, I've left my husband, I've moved house, and I'm moving countries? Can I
material?
Please. I know it's material. I now live in 2 trailer parks. I have so much fucking material. I can't even tell you. It's coming. But can I just have Christmas? As somebody who has lived in a Jewish household for 20 years, I would like a Christmas.
Oh my God.
I would like mince pies, and I would like to chill, and then I will write some stand-up, I promise you. Okay? I love you. Shut up.
Yeah, there's going to be Santa everywhere.
So much Santa.
So much Santa.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it back to our regular scheduled programming.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, this has been and continues to be an amazing journey. To harken back to what Tom was saying, sometimes we're not okay.
Yeah.
And there have been a few times in the last year that, and Emma knows that I was not okay. But when that theme song started and Clubhouse went live, things got a little bit more okay. And when we get to connect with the people out there, and I get to connect with Emma and with the people that we have on the show, and we do a good thing, we have a good time, that makes things more okay. And so that's what I'm really grateful for, and that's why we're going to continue to do it, because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Tuesday evening. And so I'm a chief cat herder and schedule meister and all those things. I love you for that. We're the yin and yang. We get the stuff done because we like different things and we're good at different things. And I think that's what makes us work well together. So love you. Love you.
Love you back, bud.
And so, folks, this is the point where I look at my script and I go, hey, Emma, what's going on next week?
Well, next week, we're going to bring it back to business. And we have CPA Sandra Gold joining us. Oh, yes. So if you are Canadian,
I also love Sandra.
I feel like I have a punch card for bringing her so much business. If you are Canadian and you need to do taxes, because you should, you need an accountant that actually knows what the hell they're talking about. And Sandra Gold is one of the best entertainment accountants in Canada, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And so she's going to be our guest next week, and she's going to be talking all things taxes, how to, lessen your tax burden, how to increase your savings, how to, build your RSPs, all of the things, what you can write off, what you can't write off. So she's going to be our guest next week.
Yeah, and
Can I just say, I've been with a very famous Canadian entertainment accountant, and Sandra Gold makes that human look irrelevant. She is extraordinary.
And I think Emma, is it safe to say, okay to say that even though the like her focus is Canada, there will probably be a lot of stuff that is relevant,
there'd be a huge amount of
money
crossover.
wise, crossover for anybody anywhere. So because most countries you have to pay taxes, so I think there's probably a way.
There'll be a massive amount of crossover with looking at where you can put, whether it's an RSP or a 401k. So where you're able to put your funds, making sure that enough of your own money stays with you versus going to the tax man.
Right.
Paying your tax where you need to pay your tax, absolutely. But where can you not have to pay so much of it?
That's a good thing. Cool. We hope you'll join us next Tuesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, live here on Clubhouse. And if you're catching the replay, check us out on VORoundtable.com and all your favorite podcast platforms. We'll hear you next week. Take care, everyone. Thanks to all our guests tonight. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, you guys.
And happy Halloween.
Here we go.